of autographs. It was amazing.
Yay! Do you feel weird standing up here?
A little bit.
Me too. It's awkward.
Sit down.
Yeah.
Should we just sit right here?
Can we have a couple of chairs? Yeah. Thank you. I know it's like...
We're lazy.
Well, sometimes.
A little lazy.
Do you ever sit, this is so loud. Do you ever sit when you're recording, or do you always stand?
I can't. I have to stand
You have to
when
stand?
I record.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I've seen people sit and record like fight scenes.
Ooh.
It's really crazy. Like, I don't understand how they make it sound like they're actually fighting without putting their body into it.
Yeah.
Like, I have to really like get into like those scenes.
Totally.
Like, some people can pull it off. I'm just not one of them.
I can't breathe if I'm, like, there have been some, this is so, am I too loud? No. Okay.
Am I too quiet? I mean, he's gonna make it sound perfect. Now I'm loud.
I just want to make sure that I'm not too loud for you guys.
I'll just keep messing with you. I'll just be like, am I too loud? Let's mess with him.
Okay, so is that too quiet? Okay, so I've sat a couple of times, but if it's a fighting game like Street Fighter, no, I gotta be up and jumping around.
Exactly.
Gotta.
I do a couple things to like get into character. Like, I have to actually like inflict pain upon myself to perform that pain. Yeah. So like Eren at one moment bites his hand really hard, and he's like chomping on that thing like until he's bleeding. So I actually bit my hand in the studio like so hard that I left a bruise on my hand.
Wow.
But it was worth it. It sounded
totally
awesome.
Worth it.
It sounded awesome. People will probably be listening to it and go, it sounds like that actor's biting through his flesh.
It's like, I did it.
Because I did, yeah.
There's been a couple of fights, well, in Street Fighter, so wrestling moves. And there's a couple times where, you know, like you take like a hit to the face. Not that I've really hit myself in the face, because that'll like, you can hear that on the microphone, but I will like, I'll choke myself. I'll be like, you know, stuff like that. We do inflict pain. I did make a nice mark on my neck, which was really awesome. So yeah, we do that.
Yeah, we have to use that excuse.
Yeah,
What happened to you?
My cat scratched me.
Just another day at work, biting my hand, choking myself, the usual.
Whatever, typical Saturday night.
Territory.
Hashtag typical Saturday night. So hi you guys. Are you guys done over there? Can we start? Can we start our panel? We're
starting without you.
We're starting. Are we good?
You can hang out, it's fine.
Okay, cool. I just want to make sure. So, hi, Jessica Calvello and
Bryce Papenbrook. What's up, everybody?
Hello.
Hi.
So, I guess you guys might like Attack on Titan.
Yeah! Just a little bit. Okay, let me see everyone who's in Titan cosplay, because I see Titan Eren right there.
Amazing.
Awesome,
yeah,
awesome. There's a colossal.
That's a perfect Armin.
That's
right
a
there.
perfect Armin.
Yeah, we have to take a picture of that for
Will you
John.
say Eren no like Armin?
Eren, no! That's really
God
good.
damn it, Eren, you jinxed us again and your house is right there.
Do you want to do like a Q&A? Do you want to tell what do you want to do?
I mean, yeah, why don't we'll answer some questions and then we'll tell some stories. We'll just kind of see where it goes.
I'm wearing pizza earrings.
I love those.
Do you like those? Okay.
Those are really awesome. Where do you
get
get pizza earrings?
Like Claire's. You guys, come on, my girls in here know Claire's, right? Claire's. You guys have to look at my pizza earrings. They're like they're pizzas.
Amazing.
Thank you. You're amazing.
That is
yeah,
awesome.
Sasha does approve. They have potato on them.
So why don't we start right here?
So we have a microphone. So come on up and.
Be louder.
So we have a microphone set up. So come right over here.
Yeah, come on up. Then everyone in the room can hear you.
I know you did some stuff with the cartoons and all, but what about the movies? Did you guys have anything to do with this movie?
The live action?
Yeah, it's supposed to be coming out.
Well, the live action is out, right? As far as a dub to it, we haven't heard anything.
We haven't done that yet, so hoping that we do get to work on that, because have you seen it?
No.
You haven't?
I haven't. I do want to. It played in Austin, actually, a couple of, just like they showed it like once.
It's already
Yeah.
All I saw was the trailer online.
Yeah, they had a very small theatrical release for the live action.
Yeah.
But there's another Attack on Titan movie, not live action, where it's like a compilation of like a bunch of scenes. I think you recorded that already, didn't you?
Did I? I don't know.
Maybe. Did I record that?
Did I record that? I don't know.
I don't know if I did or not, but there is a movie that may or may not be recorded by us. And it's mostly clips from the first volume. It's like sort of like this summary or recap, and there's a couple of new scenes in there, and that's supposed to be coming out at some point, but we don't know either.
They don't tell us
They
anything.
really don't.
Did you see that the live action movie is playing on airplanes?
No.
Like, that is the coolest thing ever. I was on a Delta flight last week, and I was like just flipping through the movies, and Attack on Titan, the movie, right there on the plane.
And you didn't watch it?
I should have. I actually I was at the premiere of the first half of the movie.
You were?
I was, and it was really awesome. I got to like walk the red carpet, and oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. Was that in LA?
In LA, yeah. It was at called the Egyptian Theater.
Where can we see the full movie?
I believe, well, if you take a Delta flight, you definitely have it on Delta. You're gonna have to buy a ticket to fly someplace on a plane that has TVs, and then buy it on the plane.
I would imagine you could buy the DVD at some point. I don't know when that'll happen.
That would be in theaters before they put it on a plane.
Well, honey, it is in theaters, but it had a real small theatrical release. Like it played in
Yeah,
LA, so
a
Bryce
limited
saw.
release.
Thank you, limited release. Bryce saw the first half of it. It played in Austin a couple of nights, so it's just in different areas and it doesn't stay for long.
Yeah, so there'll be a DVD at some point, I presume, or I wonder if Funimation is streaming it on their app, because I know they just made a mobile app. Does anyone know if they're streaming the movie on the app? The internet knows. Google knows much better than us.
Yeah, Google knows.
Thank you all for coming in.
Thank you so much. So we're gonna walk the microphone around. That way you guys don't have to get up. So you want to pick
So,
somebody?
Amanda, your choice.
Okay.
We'll let her just throw the mic. Last week I was doing a panel, and they hid the mic inside this like block, this like foam block.
Was it a cube, a companion cube?
Yeah, it was
Like
like
a portal?
no, it was a Mario
Oh.
like where you get the coins out of. So like to ask the question, you'd have to catch the block, and it was definitely dangerous. Like someone got hit in the face with that.
That's
block.
kind of awesome. But unless did they get hurt? That's
No,
awesome.
she was all right. She recovered pretty quickly.
Okay.
But this would be very dangerous. It's like, just chuck the mic, catch it.
Hi, Eren. How's it going? You look great.
Yeah, awesome cosplay.
You actually liked my picture on Twitter. I was the one that was taking pictures with Lauren at Anime Crossroads.
Yes, that is so awesome. That is so awesome.
Yay.
But what my question is that when you were recording, and I know that you watched the Japanese and the live action, and you also dubbed the voice for Titan Eren and Eren himself.
Yes.
But I gotta know, because I understand copyrights and everything, but what was your favorite Titan? Was it the roar or was it the scream?
My favorite sound I made as Eren Titan.
Well, as Eren Titan, because I know copyrights, that you can't actually copyright the roar. The roar, you had to go with the scream. I understand that.
I think it was actually an artistic choice by the director Mike McFarlane to make the Titan sound like that. The deeper sound in the Japanese, when we tried to do that, it conflicted with the bass sound when the Titans were walking. And it stands out so much more. Like, you want to be frightened by the footsteps coming up to you. And it should shake the entire room. They didn't want that Titan roar to blend with that at all and hit your subwoofers. So Mike decided to take it the exact opposite direction and make the Titans sound like banshees. So I feel like their screams and their roars are really terrifying.
They are.
It's just kind of like uneasy feeling when you hear that
It makes
sound.
you uncomfortable. I'm
Yeah.
uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. So I think it was a good artistic choice. As far as the performance, there's one moment in, wait, has everyone seen the entire show?
There will be spoilers, so just letting you guys
Spoilers
know.
from the anime, but have you read the manga?
No spoilers for the manga.
I
Don't tell us.
No manga spoilers.
Yeah.
We have no idea what happens.
Yeah.
Anyways, so very close to the end of the anime, Eren is fighting Annie, and he's like super pissed off, and he's just like pulling himself forward. And I did like these almost gorilla sort of noises, just like. And that was probably my favorite like Titan sound. I mean, the roars for me, I was just going like. And then they mess with it to make it sound crazy. But like all the little like gorilla sounds when he's like pulling himself, that was fun.
Yay!
I've never done anything like that.
Yay! I like that answer. That was awesome, Bryce. That was great. Yay! I like watching you do the voices.
I want to know your favorite line as Hanji.
My favorite line. Just let me touch it! And then she touches it.
And then she does touch it.
And then she does it. I always like it when Hanji's freaking out. I love it. She gets to be crazy. Even more so in the junior high version.
Yeah, you were so funny.
That show is hilarious.
It was really funny.
I thought it was really cute, and I like that no one really died. Like, it just made me feel better about the actual show where all of your friends died.
Yeah.
You know, it was just like a nice version of it.
There were many lunches that were eaten though.
Any lunches?
My lunch! No! A lot of those moments.
Yeah. And Levi was even more mean, which was uncool, but still adorable.
Levi's always mean.
Levi's, anyway.
Don't say that. He'll make you clean this whole area.
I'll do it with pride.
Will he now?
I'm okay with that.
Okay, Bryce, how do you like doing Eren from Attack on Titan, which is a show about killing, and also speaking in Princess Palace Pets?
So that's a contrast, obviously, right?
Okay, so we got Eren on one hand that wants to kill all the Titans. And on the other hand, we have Disney Princess Palace Pets. If you guys didn't know, I play Sultan, who's a very tiny tiger that likes to live in the desert. And actually, in this, so this is an iPhone game, and in this game, you can give Sultan a bath, and the bubbles feel amazing. So, you know, it's so fun to play different kinds of characters, and I mean, doing Sultan's voice, I have to kind of smile and giggle, and then doing Eren's voice, I have to be angry. When I recorded for Attack on Titan, I live in Los Angeles, so I had to fly out to Dallas to record, and we recorded in these blocks of like 6 episodes. So I was living and breathing Attack on Titan during the entire recording process. So I would fly back to LA and I would still be angry.
You'd be mad.
So I was just yelling at people in traffic on the way home. I'm gonna kill you. In traffic, wanting to smash everybody. I definitely didn't drive home from the recording from Disney's Palace Pets going, I'm gonna kill you.
The bubbles feel so nice.
Wow, that's amazing.
That's a good comparison. It's fun.
Okay, I'm just like shaking. You're so beautiful. Oh my. Oh, one. Okay, I got this. Okay.
Right. Easy. It's all right. You're gonna make it.
Oh, seizures. Oh, okay, yeah. So, man.
I like your socks.
Yeah, those are great.
Those are great socks.
They're so
Yeah, I
cute.
ripped them because I was angry at myself. So, slowly. So, I'm just gonna ask. I'm an Eren fan, so I'm just gonna ask you. Can you like? Can you just say to me, Armin, I want to marry you because I just die?
As Eren Yeager,
Yes, please. And I would like.
Oh my god.
I usually get this Eren and Levi. But Armin Eren needs his chance too. There's enough Eren to go around. So you want me to ask Armin to marry me?
Yes, do it.
Armin, stop screaming. Listen to me. Stop crying. Armin, will you marry me? Okay, now that Eren and Armin are getting married, I have to tell you a story about a Levi experience. So I was in Australia at a convention, and this girl comes up to me and is very shy and says, "Do you think you can say a line for me?" And I'm like, "Sure, what do you want me to say?" She's like, "Well, as Eren, could you say, Levi, you look dead sexy in a miniskirt?" So immediately, without I go, "Levi, you look dead sexy in a miniskirt."
She fall over. She was like,
Oh my
amazing. That is amazing.
Do you get who do you get matched up with as Hanji? Does Hanji with Levi?
Levi. But I get, so the ship is always Hanji and Levi, but I always say I don't see Hanji with anybody. She's so asexual.
I want Hanji with Sonny and Bean.
That's who I ship her with. I ship her with her science. I ship her with Hanji and with Hanji. I ship Hanji with Hanji. I ship Hanji with Sonny and Bean.
A good couple would be Hanji and Derpy Titan. This one.
We have normal. Chris Christopherson Titan. I think she might have a thing for her. Yeah. Yeah. Totally. She's asexual.
I want cameras on that date.
Can you imagine her trying to like sit at a restaurant and and Derpy Titan's like, she's like, "It's okay, I love you anyway." It would just be so precious. Yeah. So what, no one wants me to ask them to marry them? Is that like no one wants to propose from Hanji?
I have like 3 husbands.
3 husbands.
I have 1 wife. I need another wife.
Another, whoa, honey, you don't share me. Oh, no way. I'm a main course, baby. All right, another question?
All right, for one thing, Bryce, last weekend, the person that got pelted in the head, I threw the block.
You threw it. That's the reason why she got hit in the head. I mean, wait, were you aiming for her head? No,
I wasn't. It just
It'd be
worked
very
out that
different.
way.
It was a gentle overhand.
In all fairness to me, that is how you activate the Mario block. You have to hit it in the head.
You were just doing your job.
I was
That's
doing
good.
a civil service.
Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
All right. Recently, within the past 48 hours, I have found another show that Bryce is in as the male lead called The Miraculous Adventures of Ladybug.
What, all I heard was the Giggle Brigade. What was the title?
The Miraculous Adventures of Ladybug, Miraculous
Noir.
Ladybug and Cat Noir.
It's a mouthful.
Okay.
It really is.
Well, awesome.
But,
And actually, on the way walking into the convention, I ran into some amazing Ladybug cosplayers.
I haven't seen Ladybug. I saw Cat Noir. I'm pretty sure there's somewhere.
Adrian, Marinette, and why am I blanking on the other character's name? And Alya?
Alya?
Alya, that's right. And Alya. As I walked in, I've never seen cosplayers like that together. That was so cool.
Yeah, I bought a little bell. So they have a little neck bell that I bought.
So my character is all in leather and has
And
has
it's
I'm listening.
Yes. I'm waiting for legit Cat Noir, full leather suit
I'm tempted.
cosplayers.
Wow.
But
In black clothes. I'm waiting for the full on leather.
I'm waiting for that too now.
Hey now.
Anyone want to make that happen in the next 30 minutes? No? Patrick? Anyone?
my question for you is
Oh, we haven't gotten there yet.
no,
Okay.
not there yet. What was your first opinion of him? As Adrian and then as his alter ego?
So Adrian is this young kid who's a model.
Kind of like you.
Kind of like me, yeah, exactly. I need to get shoes like him. He has these bright orange shoes.
Nice.
I want to sport those. So I'm like, awesome, I get to play the cool kid, sweet. And then he turns into this superhero named Cat Noir who uses cheesy cat puns. And I'm like,
They're not cheesy, they're amazing. Oh,
I mean, the cheese factor is pretty high, which is amazing. So I was like, yes, this character just got even better. So, I mean, he's a great character. It's so much fun. That show is very like Sailor Moon-esque. So it's like every episode, there's someone in the town that doesn't like somebody else, and they get hit with this evil moth, and then they turn into the bad guy, and we have to fight
That was
them.
an evil moth.
Yeah, they hit with it's called the Akuma, but it's like the evil power is into this moth from the bad guy, Hawk Moth.
Okay.
And then they have to fight the bad guy and save the town.
Okay.
Every episode.
Every episode.
So it's fun. It's like there's this new bad guy to fight every single time.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's a great show. And what was that? There's a four-way love triangle between two people.
Four-way love, just like my typical Saturday night. Again, it's just.
Because they don't know that each other is the other one, and they keep missing each other by like half a second, and
Aww.
yeah.
It's almost sad.
But it's a really
Oh,
fun
we need
show.
a flow chart.
It's very lighthearted. It's on Nickelodeon.
Aww, how cute. Awesome. Yay.
Thank you for watching. I love that show, and there's still more coming. I think soon.
Hi.
Hi.
So I just want to know what each of you's favorite like scene is in Attack on Titan, like, or like if it's an entire episode that you just absolutely adore.
Favorite moments. Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first? I'll first. I'll go first. So, Eren is eaten, and he's in the stomach, and he's like, ah! He's so pissed off, and then he like punches out the top of that Titan, and he's fighting the little like baby-looking Titan. He just like punts him, and then like hits this other one. He's like stepping on his head, and he goes, "Get up! Let me kill you again! I'm again! I'm again!" Yeah, that's my favorite part. Just like, when that happened, when I was watching the show, because I was watching as the show was coming out in Japan. So episode 5 came around, Eren gets eaten, I'm like, oh, I just got Game of Thrones again. Episode 6 happens, he doesn't come back, I'm like, oh, he's really dead. And I wasn't expecting him to come back. It really tricked me. And I was totally thrown off by that twist and totally hooked. So I love that moment.
Awesome. So I like the naming sequence of where Hanji is going through how she chose the names of Sonny and Bean. And incidentally, when we were recording that episode, there's this Italian name that comes up, and I can't think of it right now. And I'm like, Mike, who is this person? And Mike's like, let's Google it, because neither one of us knew who it was, and there were no character notes. There were no notes in the script to explain what this was. So we found out that, so there's this Italian serial killer, cannibal, yeah. But then there's also I think it's like Scottish mythological, there's like someone called Sonny Bean, who was also a cannibal. So we were like researching it, like we stopped for like 15 minutes and we were like on Google, like this is so cool, like oh we have to record this now, but we were just trying to research it to figure out what was going on. So I really like it when Hanji's going over like, you know, the intestines of your blah blah blah, and you get all with the guts and all that, and people are vomiting. Yeah. You know, because she's just being so gross, but to her it's science, so it's okay. So I love that scene, and then I love it when she's doing the experiments on the Titans, and I forget the name of the character, but they go, you know, Commander, you don't have to yell, and she goes, I can't do this and not yell, damn you! You know, because she's so like passionate, and she just has to stab him in the eye for science, ah! You know, and it's just like, God, she's crazy. But to Hanji, she's passionate, and she really does have to do all these things. So I really, really love when she gets to be her heightened, you know, science crazy doctor. And then of course I love the Just Let Me Touch It scene, which is my favorite line, where she runs in, Eren! And Eren's like, I don't understand, it was a spoon, and I don't get it. And she's like, ah! You know, and goes crazy, and there's that. And I love that scene too. So I really like it when she, when you get to see her be her and all of her scientific, bizarre glory. So.
I want a Sunny and Bean spin-off. I just see like the opening, like them holding hands, like running through a grass field, like.
Yeah, and she's like off like in the meadow, like sipping tea, and like, oh my kids. I love it at the end of Attack on Titan Junior High. I think it's episode. Have you guys seen Attack on Titan Junior High? So freaking cute. It's so cute. And like I think it's the first episode where they're naked and running after each other, and she's like, ah! You know, it's just so strange. They're just, I mean, of course they're always naked, but they're really naked in Junior High. Their little butts, Titan butts. So anyway, yeah, it was a blast. The end.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm like losing my voice, so if it cracks, I'll just like.
Because you keep screaming. It'll happen.
But like, I have a question for Bryce. Do you happen like to ship Eren and Levi? Like, what if you got asked to like record as them, like in their relationship? Like, if you got to record as Eren in their relationship.
So do I like sit at home and think about the Eren Levi ship all the time?
I mean, I do. You should have asked me that question.
I mean, like, would you like support them being together? Like, would you want that to happen? Or?
I mean, they're a pretty good couple. But I don't know, Levi is pretty demanding with how clean he wants things, and I don't think Eren could handle that for very long. I don't see Eren as a neat person.
I don't either.
I see him just cleaning his room like this. It's done!
Right. And angry. It's angry. It's done. Yeah. Oh, I love your Titan outfit.
I thought we were going to really know who the Lost Titan was. Spoilers!
Does that zip or does that pull off? It zips?
A zipper all the way up.
A zipper Titan. I love it.
Is this working? Okay. So, I have a question for Bryce. My personal favorite role that you've done is Henry from Fire Emblem Awakening.
Yes, another crazy role.
Really? Awesome.
With all of his fantastic dark lines, I was wondering if you had a favorite.
Yes.
So I'll quickly tell the story of my experience with Henry. So I showed up to work and they showed me a picture. You don't know what you're gonna do most of the time when you go in to record. So they showed me a picture of the character and it's, you know, this guy's smiling, he's holding a crow, and he's just super happy. My buddy Patrick Seitz was directing. We love Patrick. And he goes, okay, let's come up with a voice for Henry. So the first line was, yay, blood. So I was like, oh, okay, I assume he's happy about this. Yay, blood! And Patrick goes, okay, he's more excited than that. Yay, blood! Okay, where you're at times 100. Yay, blood! And that's Henry. So that was my favorite. I had no idea he was that crazy. He is that crazy.
Like psycho crazy?
Yeah. So there's this moment in the game where, like, if you get far enough, you can actually marry one of your characters. So Henry, when you marry them, they say a line to you. So Henry's line when you marry him is something like this. I'll love you until I lose all the blood in my body. Ooh, what do you think that'll be?
Nice.
So he's that crazy.
He's a little psycho. All right. Here we go.
Hi again, Bryce. I was wondering what was it like to play Captain Meliodas in Seven Deadly Sins.
So we're just getting a few characters I've been playing.
That's awesome.
So Meliodas is about my height. No, I might be taller than Meliodas. He's like a super overpowered character, which is always fun. And I didn't find the voice for him. Chris Casey was directing, which is always fun working with him.
Love Chris Casey.
So we didn't really find the Meliodas voice until I figured out that I needed to raise my eyebrows and raise them so far that it stretched out my vocal cords. So like, he's like this. Okay, yeah. Like something crazy happens and he goes, all right. And that's it. Like that raise of the eyebrows was what did it. But that show is so much fun. If you guys haven't seen it, it's on Netflix. You'll probably watch it in one evening. It's one of those shows. And yeah, like almost every line we knew we got it when we were both laughing. So it was one of those recording, sessions, multiple sessions of just laughing as Meliodas. It was awesome.
Sorry. I have kind of a two-part question, completely random. One's kind of logistics, because I've heard about voice acting and such. Is there any kind of demands in being able to get things in so many takes?
What?
Is there any demands on being able to get the voices down and the lines down in so many takes, or sometimes you have to go with a bad one that you didn't like?
Is there a demand to, is there a limit as to how many takes you can take?
Time crunch.
Oh!
I know really old school animes that got like bottom barrel amounts of funding for doing the voice. They got like one take and that was it.
Well, I mean, they're not going to want you back if it takes you 20 takes to do one line, especially if you've got like a heavy line count like Eren or...
main characters, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, the people that work a lot are most of the time, one line and they move on. I mean, not that we haven't all gotten tripped up on certain cues. I mean, I think I've gone through, back in the day, Excel Saga, I think I did one take 15 times. But that was also before digital, so it was a lot different back then. But anyway, I mean, we are, it's an hourly fee, right? So ideally, they'll say, we need you for 8 hours. You're gonna, probably get paid for 8 hours. You will get paid for 8 hours. But if you go to 9, it's not like they're not gonna pay you, but it's not good.
They're not gonna ask you back very much.
Yeah.
I think also it depends on the project. Like some projects have more money behind them, and they can take more time and really get things perfect. It also depends on the director, because some directors have an idea in their head and they want something very specific, and if you're in the zone and you're hitting those things and they know it works, they won't have you do it again. But some directors like to play around and they don't necessarily know what they want, and they'll have you do lines a bunch of times and just be creative. And once they hear something that works, they'll go with that. So it depends on a lot of different things. Sometimes it's like these new simulcasts. Okay, you have a week, the team has a week to get that job done. There's no time to record something 20 times. You just physically can't do it. It won't work. So in that case, time constraints, and you just have to
sometimes you have to settle. Like when I recorded Attack on Titan Junior High out of my own studio from home, and I did 3 takes of each line, and just kind of sent it off and hope for the best. And there was one time where Mike got in touch with me. He's like, I need you to do one more take on this because I mispronounced something. But I mean, even that was difficult because we got into, so I turned it in on Friday, and then he got in touch with me Monday, but the deadline was Tuesday. So thank goodness I was home Monday, and I recorded it, and then I called him. I'm like, did you hear it? And he's like, I'm downloading it. And then he called me back, and I texted him, and it was like, for one line. And that's even a little bit stressful because it needs to be done by Tuesday morning to air Wednesday.
Yeah.
So the simulcasts are really tough.
It's insane. Like I don't know if any other company other than Funimation could logistically do those dubs. They just have the team to do it. Like they're just massive. Yeah. But the amount of work that goes into dubbing is ridiculous. I mean, we're just a small part of that process because they have to get those things, they have to time code them, they have to translate them, they have to adapt them, then we come in and we work on our part, and then after that, engineers go back through and mix everything to make us sound even better. So it's a really time-consuming process.
Do they ever, I guess with the simulcast might be more difficult, but do they ever try to get you to gear more towards the tone and the pitch of Japanese voice actors, do things like they did, or is it more of like a director thing?
Yeah, well, specifically for Attack on Titan, the director, Mike McFarlane, really wanted us to follow the Japanese, even as much as casting us to sort of sound like the Japanese seiyuu. Sometimes, it depends on the project, it depends on the director, they're not all like that, but it seems like, so back in the day, before my hiatus, they didn't care. They just casted you as your energy and acting-wise, you were right for it, timbre, all that, and you're in. But as I've come back, they really do try to match the American voices as much as they can with the Japanese acting and tone. So
I find it depends on every single project. They're all different. Like if the goal is to be very similar to the Japanese, that's how they cast. But sometimes they're like, we just want you to adapt this in a way that it'll be fun for the US audience. And it's really cool when they give us some freedom. So a show called Blood Lad that I worked on, day one, they said, okay, here's the script. If you can think of something better that you want to do, go ahead, have fun with it. And I threw out a bunch of ideas in that show, and a lot of them stayed in the show, which is really awesome.
That's cool.
It's so fun.
You don't get to do that very often now.
Yeah, it's really rare when you're able to do that. So it was awesome that like my ideas made it through. There's like one fight scene, and like right before he does this move where he makes the guy fly, he just goes, finish him. And they kept it. I was like, yes, it made it.
I'm knowing I'm being a super hog here. Just one last quick thing. But you
Go
said
for
like
it.
random things. We gonna put things. Would you like? What did you think of like the abridged version? Would you like to do something like completely random, irreverent?
The Attack on Titan abridged version?
Have you watched that?
Oh God, it was hilarious. My favorite, and it keeps getting taken down because of rights. But so Team 4-Star, there's a couple of abridged Attack on Titans. My favorite one is the Team 4-Star. The thing I love about it is they made Armin a complete babbling idiot. You cannot understand one word he's saying. They've taken all of the scenes of him freaking out, and it's Taka who does the voice, and all he does is go, and it goes on, and then it stops, and goes to, and the other characters are just doing this. And then he goes back to Armin, and he's like, and you can't understand one word he says. It is so funny.
Yeah, I love, you sound like a majestic effing eagle! So funny.
Yes.
So good.
Yes. Oh, it's great. Oh, it's the best.
We're in the back row. Okay, so my favorite voice acting that you've done, Bryce, is Danganronpa. And my question is, how did you feel about voicing Nagi? Like, he's a really interesting character, and how did you really like get his character across?
So I worked on the game first, and that was one of those things where we went through lines really, really quickly. It was the first time I was seeing the script, and I have these monologues. So he's basically, it's like a murder mystery almost, but with kids in a school, and a crazy bear is telling them to kill each other. Yeah.
That's Greg, right?
Yes, Greg plays
the crazy bear.
Monokuma in
Yeah.
the anime. Yes.
Okay.
So you're familiar with that. So
I am.
the video games came first, and my character is basically saying all the clues that they saw, like there was blood here, so we know that it wasn't this person doing this. And when I was going through those lines, it was like I was watching it in my head. It was so cool. So it was really fun playing that role, and I got super lucky to be able to play Nagi again in the anime, because I was the only one from the video game cast that got cast in the anime. So I'll really quickly tell that story. I was recording Attack on Titan, and when they auditioned at Funimation, they put these big binders out. So I was up at the front of the studio, just kind of joking around with the receptionist, and I saw the binder, and I'm like, what are you guys, auditioning for? And I opened it up, and I saw my character. And I'm like, I play this guy. I really want to audition. Like, that would be awesome if I could just read for it and see if I get cast again. So Chris Bevins had the show, and I didn't really know him at the time, but during breaks, everyone kind of hangs out outside to get some fresh air and some sun. And on one of the breaks, I was outside, and Bevins was outside, and he's like, hey, you play this character in this Danganronpa show, right? In the game? I'm like, yeah, I do. And he's like, want to play it in the show? I'm like, yeah, I do. And he cast me. So I got cast as Nagi in the anime just by being in the right place at the right time.
That's so cool.
So I felt super lucky that day.
Awesome.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so we only got like 5 minutes. So we want to do like a super lightning round where everybody asks
Do we have
questions
some
really
Attack
fast.
on Titan questions?
Yeah, we need more Titan questions. Lightning round, Titan questions, go.
Okay, so really quickly, tell me how you got involved with Attack on Titan.
Hit it.
Attack on Titan was the first show I recorded at Funimation. I was a fan of the show. My buddy Patrick Seitz, who had worked for Funimation, asked Mike McFarland if I could audition. Mike said, yeah, sure, let him MP3 and audition. I screamed so loud my neighbors called the cops, and I got cast as Eren.
That's crazy. I did not know that your neighbors called the cops.
Yeah, I bought soundproofing. They definitely still heard me.
That's amazing. I got an email that said Attack on Titan. I had previously worked on Fairy Tail the movie, so Funimation, I had worked there already, and I got an email that said Attack on Titan auditions in the subject line of the email. My heart dropped out of my ass. I was like, oh my God. Because I watched the show, I was a fan of the show. I didn't even know who had the dub. I didn't know anything about it, but I wanted to audition for it. But I hadn't put that bee in anyone's bonnet. I was just hoping. And sure enough, so the audition was like, chick pick 3 characters, and I picked 3 characters, and then I auditioned for Annie, Sasha, and Hanji, of course. She's my favorite. I was like, wow, I really hope I get to play her. It was really important to me. So I'm trying to speed up. So weeks go by, and I'm hearing that people are getting cast. And like, I'm starting to get so sad. I'm like, I'm not in it, the lead, like, I think I'd heard that you were cast, and I'm like, I didn't get it. And then finally I got a call, and Mike's like, this is Mike McFarlane, I'd like to talk to you about your audition, and I'm freaking out, and he's like, yeah, and he's all distracted, and I feel like it took him I feel like I'm still on the phone waiting for him to tell me who I am, because he was distracted when I talked to him, and he kept putting me on hold, and I was like, get back here, who am I? And he's like, yeah, so you're gonna play Hanji. And I screamed so loud, I was in a park, and there was this woman with her baby, and I was like, oh my God! And she was like, oh my God, and then she took her baby, and started running off, and I felt really bad. I was like, oh, she thinks I'm psycho, and I'm like, no, lady, it's okay, I'm Hanji! And that did not help, and that really didn't help my case at all, and she took off, and I was like, your baby's cute! Oh, forget it. So that's how that happened.
That's awesome.
Okay, really quick, this is probably going to make some of the girls in this room scream, but who do you guys ship out of Attack on Titan?
More shipping.
More shipping. I ship Hanji with Sunny and Bean. I really do. And I ship myself with Levi because I love short guys.
Derpy Titan and Santa Claus Titan.
We had different, so Bryce and I and a bunch of a lot of the cast would live tweet when the show was coming out. And I love, part of my favorite part of doing that was we would have names while we were recording for some of the Titans that we saw. So there was the Santa Claus Titan. I called him the Chris Christopherson Titan, which you guys probably don't know who that is. Then there was the Burt Reynolds Titan, or the Freddie Mercury Titan.
Freddie Mercury, yeah.
Freddie Mercury. What other ones? We had some other ones in there. Derpy Titan.
Derpy Titan.
Yeah, anyway, that was always fun. Are we done?
We're done.
Okay. Well, thanks you guys.
Yeah, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
It's awesome.
We'll give you a picture.
Yes.
We're gonna take some pictures.